Hi, my name is Robert Sheffield, and this is Analyzing Predicting Transfer Value for Barcelona Players. Okay. With players being super expensive, it's important that clubs make smart, correct decisions in order to stay financially viable. So if a correlation can be found between age and player ability as well as value, players can make more intuitive decisions and make more money. Okay, my research questions are, what's the relationship between player age, who scored rating, and transfer value? Given a player's current age and player rating, can their transfer value be predicted? And are there more players above or below the mean salary on Barcelona? Okay, so for my methodology, to begin with, using Beautiful Soup, I scraped the data I needed from transfermarkt.com, and I loaded that data into a data frame. After that, I downloaded the rating data from the website whoscored.com. After that, I cleaned up the player's name column by manipulating the strings in the column and extracting the age from that data. Next, I merged both data frames using the merge function. I use a default inner join with player ratings on the left and then values on the right, but that decision was arbitrary. After that, there was a redundancy. There was an extra player column, so I used the .lock function to only take the columns that I needed. After that, I used the replace function to manipulate the strings in the value column to remove the $sign and the M because all the transfer values were represented as, for instance, Messi's was $sign 130.00 M, so $130 million. So I got rid of the $sign and the M, and I converted all the strings to floats. Okay, for my data analysis, my last part of the methodology, I use seaborns to plot player age versus player ratings and then age versus transfer value. I then set up a decision tree regressor model with labels being transfer value and then the features being age and player rating. And for my test data ratio, I had a 20% ratio. And then finally, I plotted the predicted values versus age compared with the original plots. Okay, so to answer my first research question, with the relationship between player age and rating, it can be seen that player potential seems like the biggest indicator. The players entering their 20s are most likely to have the higher salaries compared to those waning in their career, with the exception of players like Messi, who serve as an outlier. So players, I think, are valued for their appreciation and growth. Okay, can we predict transfer values? Yes and no. Do that. While the model was able to somewhat give some accurate data, for instance, players on the edges did have lower values. It definitely over predicted super or young players to have high value, like players in their early 20s that have super high values. But it was able to recognize Messi as an outlier. However, there are other hidden factors that we didn't take into consideration, such as player popularity and past injuries. Okay, are there more players above or below the mean salary for Barcelona? The average salary is 44.63 million. There are 14 players below and 7 above. But the players above have an average salary of 80.46 million, while the players below have an average salary of 26.71 million. Okay, and if I was going to do this again in the future, I definitely do have a few improvements I would make. I would definitely run the same questions on all the players in the Spanish league to have a more holistic data set. I would then maybe do the same thing, but over the course of 5 years, tracking the same players to try and see if I could predict player ratings into the future. And then finally, maybe checking to see how significantly players fall off after they've peaked. Thank you.